I read here that Don Pedro of Aragon comes this night to Messina.
He is very nearby this. He was not 3 weeks off when I left him.
Have you lost many men in this action?
But few of any sort, and none of name.
How much better it is for a triumph to return with full numbers.
Yes, much deserved on his part, and equally remembered by Don Pedro. He hath borne himself beyond the promise of his age, doing in the figure of a lamb the feats of a lion. He hath indeed bettered expectation, than you must expect of me to tell you how.
He hath an uncle here in Messina. They'll be very much glad.
I have already delivered him letters, and there appears much joy in him, even so much that joy cannot show itself modest without a badge of bitterness.
Did he break into tears?
In great measure.
A kind overflow of kindness. How much better is to weep at joy than joy at weeping?
I pray you, Signor Montanto returned from the wars or no?
I know none of that name, lady. There was none such in the army of any sort.
Who do you speak of, niece?
My cousin meets Signor Benedict of Padua.
Oh, he's returned, and he's as pleasant as he ever was.
He set up his bills here in Messina and challenged Cupid at the flight, and my uncle's fool, reading the challenge, subscribed for Cupid and challenged him at the bird bolt. How many hath he killed and eaten in these wars? But how many hath he killed, for indeed I promise to eat all of his killing.
Niece, you tax Signor Benedict too much, but he'll meet with you, I doubt it not.
He hath done good service, lady, in these wars.
You hath musty victual, and he hath hoped to eat it. He is a valiant trencherman. He has an excellent stomach.
And a good soldier, too, lady.
And a good soldier, too, lady. But what is he to a lord?
A lord to a lord, a man to a man, stuffed with honorable virtues.
It is so indeed. He is no more than a stuffed man. But as for the stuffing, well, we are all mortal.
You must not, there's a merry war between her and Signor Benedict. They never meet, but there's a skirmish of wit between them.
Alas, he gets nothing by that. In our last conflict, 4 of his 5 wits went halting off, and this the whole man governed with one, so that if he have wit enough to keep himself warm, let him bear it for a difference between himself and his horse. Who's his companion now? He hath every month a new sworn brother.
Is possible?
Very easily possible. He wears his faith, but as the fashion of his hat, ever changing with the next block.
I see, lady, the gentleman is not in your books.
No, and he were, I would burn my study. But who is his companion? Is there no young squire now who will make a voyage with him to the devil?
He is most in the company of the right-hand noble Claudio.
Oh, God help the Claudio if he hath caught the Benedict. It'll cost him £1,000 ere be cured.
I will hold friends with you, lady.
Do, good friend.
You'll never run mad, niece.
No, not till a hot January.
Don Pedro is approached.
Oh, good Signor Leonardo, are you come to meet your trouble? The fashion of the world is to avoid cost, and you encounter.
Never come trouble in likeness of your grace, for trouble being gone, comfort to remain. And when you depart from me, sorrow shall abide, and happiness takes his leave.
You embrace your charge too willingly. I think this is your daughter?
Her mother hath told me many times so.
Were you in doubt, sir, that you had to ask her?
No, Signor Benedict, for then you were a child.
You have it full, Benedict. We may guess by this what you are, being a man. Truly the lady fathers herself.
Why, if Signor Leonato be her father, then he would not have her head on her shoulders, for all of Messina as like him as she is.
I wonder that you should still be talking, Signor Benedict. Nobody marks you.
Why, my dear Lady Disdain, are you yet living?
Is it possible Disdain should die when she hath such meat food to feed it as Signor Benedict? Courtesy itself must convert to disdain if you come in her presence.
Why then, courtesy is a turncoat, for indeed I am loved of all ladies, only you excepted. And I would find it in my heart that I had not a hard heart, for indeed I love none.
A dear happiness to woman, they would else have been turned by a pernicious suitor. I thank God in my cold blood I am of your humor for that. I would rather hear my dog bark at a crow than a man swear he loves me.
Oh, then let the Lord keep your ladyship still in that mind, so that some gentleman may escape a predestined scratched face.
Scratching could not make it worse, and 'twere such a face as yours were.
You are a rare parrot teacher.
A bird of my tongue is better than a beast of yours.
I would my horse had the speed of your tongue in so good a continuer. But keep your way of God's name, lady. I have done.
You always end with a jade's trick. I know you of old.
That is the sum of all. Oh, Signor Claudio, Signor Benedict, my dear friend Leonardo hath invited you all. I tell him we shall stay here at the least a month, and he heartily prays some occasion may detain us longer.
I swear, my prince, you shall not be forsworn. Let me bid you welcome. Being reconciled to the prince, your brother, I owe you all due.
Thank you. Not with many words, but thank you.
Please, your grace, lead on.
Your hand, Leonardo, we shall go together.
Benedict, didst thou not the daughter of Signor Leonardo?
I noted her not, but I looked at her.
And is she not a modest young lady?
Do you question me, as an honest gentleman should do, for my simple true judgment, or would you have me speak as is my custom, as professed tyrant to their sex?
I pray thee speak in sober judgment.
Why, methinks she's too low for a high praise, too brown for a fair praise, and too little for a great praise. Why, only this commendation can I afford her. Were she any other than but she is, she were unhandsome. But, being no other than she is, I do not like her.
Thou thinkest I am in sport. Benedict, I pray thee truly, tell me how thou likest her.
Wouldst thou buy her that you inquire after her?
Can the world buy such a jewel?
Yea, and a box to put it into, but speak you this with a sad brow.
In mine eye, she is the sweetest lady I ever looked upon.
I can see yet without spectacles, and I see no such matter, but you have no intent to turn husband, have you?
I would scarce trust myself, though I had sworn the contrary, if Hero would be my wife.
It's come to this. Shall I never see a bachelor of threescore again? Why, to faith, thou shalt thrust thy neck into the yoke and wear the print of it, and then sigh away Sundays.
What secret hath kept you that you follow not to Leonardo's?
I would your grace would constrain me to tell.
Oh, I charge thee on thy allegiance.
Well, hear you, Claudio. I can be as secret as a dumb man, but on my allegiance, mark you, on my allegiance, why, he is in love! With who? Mark how short his answer is. He is in love with Hero, Leonardo's short daughter.
If this were so, so were it uttered.
Why, it is as the proverb says, it was not so, nor 'twas not so, but indeed, God forbid it should be so.
Well, amen if you love her, for the woman is very well worthy.
You speak this to fetch me in, my lord.
By my troth I speak my thought.
And in my faith, my lord, I spoke mine.
And by my two troths and faiths, my lord, I spoke mine.
That I love her, I feel.
That she is worthy, I know.
That I know not how she should be loved, nor understand how she is worthy, is the opinion that fire shall not melt out of me, and shall burn in it at the stake.
Thou wast ever an obstinate heretic in the despite of love.
And never could maintain his part, but in the force of his will.
That a woman gave birth to me, I thank her. That she raised me, I likewise give her my humble thanks. But that I should have some wretched winded in my forehead, or hang my bugle in an invisible baldric, why, all women shall pardon me. I shall not do them the wrong to mistrust any, and so I shall do myself the right to trust none. And therefore I shall live a bachelor.
I will see thee ere I die look pale with love.
Oh, with anger, with sickness, or with hunger, my lord, but not with love.
Well, if ever thou dost fall from this, thou wilt prove a notable argument.
Why then, let me be strung up in a bottle like a cat, and have men shoot at me. And he who hits me, why let him be clapped on the shoulder and called Adam.
Well, as the time will try, in time, the savage bull doth bear the yoke.
The savage bull may, but if ever Benedict doth bear it, why, pluck out the bull's horns, pluck them in my forehead, and let me be vilely painted. Here lies good horse to hire, and underneath it, let them signify, here lies Benedict, the married man.
If this should ever happen, thou wouldst be horn mad.
Ah, Nay, if Cupid had not spent all his quiver in Venice, he will quake for it shortly.
Why, then I look for an earthquake too, then. Benedict! My liege, your highness, now may do me good.
My love is thine to teach. Teach it but how, and thou will see how apt it is to learn any hard lesson that may do thee good.
Hath Leonardo any son, my lord?
No child, but Hero, she's his only heir. Dost thou affect her, Claudia?
Oh, my lord, when you went onward on this ended action, I looked upon her with a soldier's eye. That liking, but had a rougher task at hand than to drive liking to the name of love. But now I am returned, and at war thoughts have left their places vacant, and in their places come thronging, soft, and delicate desires, all prompting me to say how fair young Hero is. Saying I liked her ere I went to wars!
Oh, thou wilt be like a lover presently, and tire the hearer with a book of words. If thou dost love Hero, cherish it. And I will break with her and with her father, and she shall be yours. Was not to this end that thou didst begin to twist so fine a story?
How sweetly you do minister to love than to know love by grief's complexion, and, lest my liking too sudden seemed, I would have salved it with a longer treatise.
What need the bridge much broader than the flood? The fairest grant is the necessity. See what will serve is fit. 'Tis once thou lovest, and I will fit thee with the remedy. I know we shall have revelling tonight. I shall assume thy part in some disguise, and tell, fair Hero, I am Claudia. And in her bosom I'll unclasp my heart and hold her here a prisoner with the force and strong encounter of my amorous tale. And then to her father will I break, and the conclusion is, she shall be thine. In practice let us put it presently.
Come, sister, where is my cousin, your son? Will he provide the music?
He will be very busy about it. But brother, I can tell you strange news that you yet dream not of.
Very good.
As the events stamp them, but they have good cover, they show well outward. The prince and Claudio, walking in a thick pleached alley in my orchard, were thus overheard by a man of mine. The prince discovered to Claudio that he loved my niece, your daughter, and meant to acknowledge it this night in the dance. And if he found her accordant, he meant to take the present time by the top and instantly break with you of it.
Have the man any wit who told you of this?
A good sharp fellow. I will send for him and question him yourself.
Oh, no. We'll hold off to a dream till it appear itself. But I will quit my daughter so she will be better prepared for an answer. Go and go tell her of it. Cousin, do you know what you have to do? Oh, I cried mercy, have care in this busy time. Come with me and I'll use your skill.
How now, my lord? Why are you thus out of measure sad?
There is no measure in the occasion that it creates, therefore the sadness is without limit.
You should hear reason.
When I have heard it, what blessing brings it?
If not a present remedy, then a patient suffering.
I wonder that thou, being as thou sayest thou art, born under Saturn, goes about to apply a moral medicine to a mortifying mischief. I cannot hide what I am. I must be sad when I have cause and smile at no man's jest, eat when I have stomach and wait for no man's leisure, sleep when I am drowsy and tend no man in his business, laugh when I am merry and laugh at no man's humor.
Yea, but you must not make full show of it until you may do it without controlment. You have of late stood out against a brother who hath taken you newly into his graces, where it is impossible that you may take true root. But by the fair weather that you frame yourself, it is needful that you frame the season for your own harvest.
I'd rather be a canker in a hedge than a rose in his grace, and it better fits my blood to be disdained of all than to fashion a carriage to rob love from it. In this, though I cannot be said to be a flattering, honest man, it must not be denied that I am a plain-dealing villain. I am trusted with a muzzle and enfranchised with a clog. Therefore I decree not to sing in my cage. If I had my mouth, I would bite. If I had my liberty, I would do my liking. In the meantime, let me be that I am, and seek not to alter me.
Can you make no use of your discontent?
I make use of it all, for I use it only. Who comes here? What news brought you?
I came yonder from a great supper. Prince, your brother, is royally entertained by Leonardo, and I can give you intelligence of an intended marriage.
Will it serve for any model to build mischief on? Was he but a fool who betroths himself to Aquinas?
Mary, he is your brother's right hand.
Who? The most exquisite Claudio?
Even he.
A proper squire. And who? Who? Which way looks he?
Mary, it is on Hero, the daughter and heir of Leonardo.
Oh, very forward, march chick. How came you to this?
Being entertained for a perfumer, as I was smoking in a musty room, comes me the Prince and Claudio, hand in hand in sad conference. I whipped me behind the arras, and there heard it agreed upon that the Prince shall woo Hero for himself, and having obtained her, shall give her to Claudio.
Come, come, let us thither. This may prove food to my displeasure. That young startup hath all the glory to my overthrow. If I can cross him anyway, I bless myself everywhere. You are both sure and will assist me?
To the death, my lord.
Then let us to the great supper. Their cheer is the greater that I am subdued. No, we're the cook, we're of my mind. Shall we go prove what's to be done?
We'll wait upon your lordship.
Was not Count John here at supper?
I saw him not.
How tardily that gentleman looks. I never can see him, but am heartburned an hour after.
He is of a very melancholy disposition.
He is the exact midpoint between himself and Signor Benedict. The one like an image, never saying a word. The other like my lady's eldest son, evermore tattling.
By my troth, niece, thou wilt never get a husband of being so shrewd of thy tongue.
In faith, she's too cursed.
Too cursed is more than cursed. I shall lessen God's sending for that. For it is said, God sends a cursed cow short horns, but to a cow too cursed, he sends none.
So by being so cursed, God will send you no horns?
Just if he sent me no husband, the very blessing for which I am at my knees every morning and evening. Lord, I could not endure a husband with a beard on his face. I would rather lie in the woolen.
You may lay on a husband with no beard.
What should I do with him? Dress him in my apparel and make him my waiting gentlewoman? He that hath no beard is less than a man, and he that hath a beard is more than a youth, and he that is less than a man is not for me, and he that is more than a youth, I am not for him. Therefore, I will take 6 in earnest and lead my apes into hell.
Well, go you into hell?
No, but to the gate, and there I will deliver my apes, and away for St. Peter, where he shows me where the bachelors sit, and there we live, merry as the day is long.
Well, niece, I trust you will be ruled by your father.
Yea, it is my duty to make curtsy and say, Father, as it please you, but make him a handsome fellow, or make another curtsy, and say, Father, as it please me.
Well, niece, I hope to see you one day fitted with a husband.
Not till God make man of some other metal than earth.
Lady, will you walk about with your friend?
So you walk softly and little sweetie and say nothing. Yours for the walk, especially when I walk away.
With me? In your company?
I may say so, but I please.
Oh, it might please you to say so.
When I like a favor, God to the look should be like a case.
Oh, my visor's filament's roof. In the house is Joe.
Why then, Aaron? Visor should be matched.
Speak low, if you speak low.
Well, I would you did like me.
So would not I, for your own sake, for I have many ill qualities.
Ah, which is one?
I say my prayers aloud.
I love you the better. The hearers may cry, Amen.
God match me with a good dancer.
Amen.
And God keep him from my sight when the dance is done. Answer, clerk.
No more words. The clerk is it.
I know you well enough. You are Signor Leonardo.
At a word I am not.
I know you by the waggling of your head.
It is true I counterfeit him.
You could never do him so ill well unless you're the very man. Here's his dry hand up and down. You are he, you are ye.
At a word I am not.
Come, come. Do you think I do not know you by your excellent wit? Can virtue hide itself? Graces will appear and there's an end.
Will you not tell me who told you so?
No, you shall pardon me.
Nor will you tell me who you are?
Not now.
I was disdainful and had my wit out of the 100 fairy tale. Why, it was Signor Benedict that told me so.
What's he?
I'm sure you know him well enough.
Not I, believe me.
Did he ever make you laugh?
I pray you, what is he?
Why, he is the prince's jester, a very dull fool. Only his gift is in devising impossible slanders. None but the libertines will like him, for he both pleases men and angers them. And they both laugh at him and beat him.
I'm sure he's in the fleet. I would, he had ordered me.
Well, when I know the gentleman, I shall tell him what you say.
Do. He'll have a comparison or two on me, which, peradventure, not marked or laughed at, strikes him into a fit of melancholy. And then a partridge wing is saved, for the fool shall eat no supper.
We must follow the leaders in every good thing.
Nay, if they lead to any ill, I will leave them at the next turning.
Sure, my brother is amorous on Hero and hath withdrawn her father to break with him about it. The ladies follow her, and but one visor remains.
And that is Claudio. I know him by his bearing.
Are you not, Signor Benedict?
You know me well. I am he.
Signor, you are very near my brother in his love. He is enamored on Hero. I pray you dissuade him from it. She is no equal for his birth. You would do the part of an honest man in it.
How you know he loves her?
Oh, I heard him swear his affection.
So did I too, and he swore he would marry her tonight.
But come, let us to the banquet.
Thus answer I in the name of Benedict, but hear these ill news with the ears of Claudio. 'Tis certain so the prince woos for himself. Friendship is constant in all other things, save in the office of affairs and love. Therefore, all hearts in love use their own tongues. Let every eye negotiate for itself, and trust no agent. For beauty is a witch whose charms faith melleth into blood. This is an accident of hourly proof which I mistrusted not. Farewell, therefore, Hero.
Count Claudio.
The same.
Come, will you go with me?
Whither?
Why, even to the next willow. Come, County, what fashion will you wear the garland of? Around your neck like a usurer's chain, or around your arm like a lieutenant's scarf? Either way, you shall have to wear it, for the prince hath got your hero.
And I wish him joy of her.
Why speak you this like an honest drovier? And they do sell the bullocks, but would you have thought that the prince would serve you thus?
I pray you leave me.
Oh, thou strikes like the blind man. 'Twas the boy who stole your meat, and he'll beat the post.
If it will not be, I will leave you.
Oh, alas, poor hurt fowl. And so he will sink into sedges. But that Lady Beatrice should know me, and not know me. The prince is fool. Yea, I may be called so because I am merry, but it is the base though bitter disposition of Beatrice that puts the world in her favor. Well, I shall be as revenged as I may.
Now, Signor, where's the Count? Have you seen him?
Why, yes, and I did play the part of Lady Fame. I told him, and I believe that I told him true, that you have got the goodwill of his lady.
Ah, the Lady Beatrice hath a quarrel to you. The gentleman who danced with her said that she was very much wronged by you.
Oh, she misused me past the endurance of a block. An oak, but with one green leaf on it, would have answered her. My very visor began to assume life and scold with her. She told me, not thinking I had been myself, that I was the prince's jester. Huddling jest upon jest with such impossible conveyance upon me, that I stood like a man at a mark, with a whole army shooting at me. Why, she speaks poniards, and every word stabs. Oh. If her breath were as terrible as her terminations, why, there'd be no living near her. She would infect to the North Star. I would not marry her were she endowed with all that Adam had possessed before he had transgressed. Come now, talk not of her. You shall find her the eternal Ate in good apparel. I would to God some scholar would conjure her, for indeed, a man may live as quiet in hell as in a sanctuary. And they do sin upon purpose so that they would go thither. So indeed to all disquiet, horror, and perturbation follow her.
Oh, look, here she comes.
My lord, I shall do thee any embassage to the antipodes that you can devise to send me on. I shall Fetch you a toothpicker from the furthest inch of Asia. Bring you the length of Prester John's foot. Bring you a hair of the great Cham's beard. Do you any embassage to the pygmies, rather than hold 3 words conference with this market? Come now, you have no employment for me.
None but to desire your good company.
Oh God, sir. Here is a dish I love not. I cannot endure my lady tongue.
Come now, you have lost the heart of Signor Benedict.
Yea, my lord, I gave him use for it once, my double heart for his single one. Married once before, he lent me use of it, under false dice. So your grace may well say I have lost it.
Well, you have put him down, lady. You have put him down.
So I should not he should do me, lest I become the mother of fools. I have brought Count Claudio, whom you sent me to see.
How now, Count? Wherefore are you sad?
Not sad, my lord.
How then, sick?
Neither, my lord.
The Count is neither sad, nor sick, nor merry, nor well, but civil, Count, civil as an orange, and something of that jealous complexion.
In truth, I think your blazon to be true, though I will be sworn if he be so. His conceit is false. Oh, come, Claudio. I have wooed for thee, and fair hero is won. I have broke with her father, and his goodwill obtained. Name the day of marriage, and God give thee joy.
Count! Take of me, O my daughter, and with her my fortunes. My grace has made the match, and all grace say amen to it.
Speak, Count, 'tis your cue.
Silence is the perfectest herald of joy. I were but little happy if I could say how much. Lady, as you are mine, I am yours. I give away myself for you and dote upon the exchange.
Speak, cousin, or if you cannot, stop his mouth with a kiss, so that he may speak nigh.
Ivana!
By my troth, you are a pleasant-spirited lady.
Yea, my lord, I thank thee, keeps on the windy side of care. My cousin tells him in his ear that he is in her heart.
And so she doth, cousin.
Thus goes everyone to the world but I am sunburnt. I should sit in the corner crying, I hope for a husband.
Lady Beatrice, I will get you one.
I would rather have one of your father's getting. Hath your grace now a brother like you? Your father could come by an excellent husband if a maid was lucky enough.
Will you have me, my lady?
No, my lord. Unless I may have another for working days. Your grace is too costly for every day. But I beseech thee, I was born to speak all mirth and no matter.
Your silence most offends me, but to be merry best becomes you, for out of question you were born in a merry hour.
No, my mother cried, and a star danced, and under that I was born. God give you joy.
Niece, will you do those things I told you of?
Your grace's pardon.
By my troth, she is a pleasant-spirited lady.
There's little of the melancholy element in her, my lord. She is never sad except when she sleeps. My daughter tells me that she often dreams of unhappiness and wakes herself with laughing.
Oh, she cannot endure to hear tell of a husband.
No, she mocks wooers of all suit.
Oh, she were an excellent wife for Benedict.
My lord, in a week they talk themselves mad.
Count Claudio, when mean you to go to church?
Tomorrow, my lord? Time goes on crutches till love have all his rights.
Not till Monday, my dear son, which is just hence a 7 night, and a time way too brief to settle all things in my mind.
Oh, you shake your head at so long of breathing, but I warn thee, Claudio, the time will not go dully by us. I will, in the interim, undertake one of Hercules' labors, which is to bring Signor Benedict and the Lady Beatrice into a mountain of affection, the one with the other. I'd fain have it a match, if you 3 will but minister to me such assistance as I give you direction.
My lord, I am yours, but it will cost me 10 night watchings.
And I, my lord.
And you, fair hero?
I will do any modest office, my lord, to help my cousin do a good husband.
And Benedict is not the unhopefullest husband that I know of. Thus far can I praise him. He is of a noble strain of approved valor and confirmed honesty. I shall show you how to humor your cousin so that she will fall in love with Benedict, and with your 2 help, shall so practice on Benedict so that in despite of his quick wit and queasy stomach, he will fall in love with Beatrice. If we can do this, Cupid is no longer an archer. All his glory is ours, for we are the only true love gods. Come in with me and I'll tell you of my drift.
is so. Count Claudio shall marry the daughter of Leonardo.
Yea, my lord, but I can cross it.
Any bar, any cross, any impediment shall be medicinable to me. I am sick in displeasure to him, and whatever comes athwart his affection, ranges evenly with mine. How canst thou cross this marriage?
Not honestly, my lord, but so covertly that no dishonesty shall appear in me.
Show me briefly how.
I think I told your lordship of your sense how much I am in the favor of Margaret, the waiting gentlewoman to Hero.
I remember.
I can, at any unseasonable instant of the night, appoint her to look out at her lady's chamber window.
What life is in that to be the death of this marriage?
The poison of that lies in you to temper. Go you to the prince your brother, and spare not to tell him how he hath wronged his honor in marrying the renowned Claudio, whose estimation do you mightily hold up to a contaminated stale, such a one as Hero.
What proof shall I make of that?
Proof enough to misuse the prince, to vex Claudio, to undo Hero, and to kill Leonardo. Look you for any other issue?
Only to despite them I will endeavor anything.
Go then, find me a meet hour to draw Don Pedro and the Count Claudio alone. Tell them that you know that Hero loves me. Intend a kind of zeal both to the prince and Claudio, as in love of your brother's honor, who hath made this match, and his friend's reputation, who is like to be cousined with the semblance of a maid, that you have discovered thus. They will scarcely believe this without trial. Offer them instances which shall bear no less likelihood than to see me at her chamber window, hear me call Margaret Hero, hear Margaret term me Claudio, and bring them to see this the very night before the intended wedding. In the meanwhile, I will so fashion the matter that Hero shall be absent, and there shall be such seeming truth of Hero's disloyalty that jealousy shall be called assurance, and all the preparation overthrown.
Grow this to what adverse issue it can. I will put it in practice. Be cunning in thy working this, and thy fee is 1,000 ducats.
Be you constant in the accusation, and my cunning will not shame thee.
I shall presently go learn their day of marriage.
I do much wonder how one man, after seeing how much another is a fool when he dedicates his behaviors to love, would, after mocking such follies in other, become the victim of his very own scorn. By falling in love. And such a man is Claudio. I think not. Why? I cannot be sworn, but love may yet make an oyster of me. But until he hath made an oyster of me, why, love shall not make me such a fool. One woman is fair, yet I am well. Another is virtuous, yet I am well. And another wise, yet I am well. But until all graces be in one woman, why, one woman shall not come in my grace. Why, rich she shall be, that's certain. Wise, or I'll never cheapen her. Virtuous, or I'll never look on her. Noble, or not I for an angel. Of good discourse, an excellent musician, and why, her hair shall be of whatever color it pleases God. The prince and Monsieur Love. I shall hide me in the arbor.
Come, shall we hear this music?
Yea, my good lord, how still the evening is, as hushed on purpose to grace harmony.
See thee where Benedict hath hid himself?
Very well, my lord. When the music hath ended, we'll fit the kid fox with a pennyworth.
Come, Balthazar, we will hear that song again.
Ah, good my lord, but that's not so bad a voice to slander music any more than once.
Oh, it is the witness still of excellency to put a strange face on his own perfection. I pray thee sing and let me woo no more.
Ah, since you speak of wooing, I will sing, since many a wooer doth commence his suit. To her he thinks of nothing, yet he woos, but will he swear he loves?
Nay, I pray thee come, or if thou wilt hold longer argument, do so in notes.
Note this before my notes. There's not a note that of mine that is worth the noting.
These are very crotchets that he speaks. Notes, notes, forsooth, and nothing.
I know more, ladies, I know more. Men were deceivers, ever. 1 foot in sea, 1 on shore, to 1 thing constant, never. Then sigh not so, but let them go, and be you blithe and bonny, converting all your sounds of woe into hey, Nani, Nani.
By my troth, a good song. I pray to get us some excellent music, for tomorrow night we would have it at the Lady Hero's chamber window.
The best I can, my lord.
Do so, farewell. Come, Leonardo, what was it you told me of this morning? That your niece Beatrice was in love with Benedict?
Paint the hook well! Official wife.
I can tell you to think of it, my lord, but how wonderful she should dote on Senior Benedict, whom in all outward behavior she would abhor.
It's possible. Sits the wind in that corner.
By my troth, my lord, I can't tell you what to think of it, but she loves him with an enraged infection, beyond the infinite of thought.
Maybe she doth but counterfeit.
Faith like enough.
But what effects of passion shows she?
Oh, Stockon! Stockon! Foul sits!
Oh, she will sit you, my lord. My daughter told us how.
Oh, but how? How? I pray thee, You amaze me. I would have thought her so invincible against all assaults of affection.
So would I, especially against Benedict.
Why, this can be no gull. 'Tis spoken by the white-bearded fellow. Knavery cannot hide itself in such reverence.
He hath taken in the infection. Hold it up!
Has she made her affection known to Benedict?
No, and she swears she never will. That is her torment.
'Tis true indeed. She says, shall I, says she, that have so often countered him with scorn, write to him that I love him?
Yes, for she will be up 20 times a night, sit in her smock, and write a sheet of paper.
Now, you talk of a sheet of paper. I remember a petty jest your daughter told us of.
How she found Benedict and Beatrice between the sheets.
That!
Yes, for she will be up, and she will write a sheet of paper, tear it up, and say, I flout him even though I love him, I should.
Well then, down upon her knees she falls, and she weeps and sobs, and beats her chest, tears her hair out, curses, oh sweet Benedict, God give me patience!
I wish she had bestowed this dotage on me. I would have daffed all the respects and made her half myself.
Very good, thank you.
Hero says she will die she says she will die if he love her not, and she will die if she make her love known, and she will die if he woo her rather than bate 1 breath of her accustomed crossness.
Yea, she would make tender of her love, though no doubt the gentleman will scorn it, for the gentleman, as you know all, hath a contemptible spirit.
Oh, well, by God and in my mind, very wise.
He hath a good outward happiness.
He is a very proper man.
He hath some sparks that are like wit. I am sorry for the least. Shall we go seek him out and tell him of her affection?
Never, never tell him, my lord. Let her wear it out with good counsel.
Nay, she'll wear her heart out first.
Oh. Well, we'll hear more of it by your doctor then. Let it cool the while. I love Benedict well and would modestly hope that he would examine himself to see how unworthy he is of so good a lady.
My lord, will you walk? Dinner is ready.
This can be no trick. Why, the conference was sadly born. They have the truth of this from Hero. Why, her passions appear to be in their full bent. Love me. Why, it must be requited. They say the lady 'tis fair. Why, 'tis true, I can bear them witness, and virtuous, 'tis so, I cannot reprove it, and wise, but for loving me. I may perchance have some odd remnants or quirks of wit broken against me, for I have railed so long against marriage, but doth not the appetite alter? A man loves the meat in his youth that he cannot endure in his age. No, no, the world must be peopled. Oh, here comes Beatrice. By the state, she's a fair lady. I do spy some marks of love in her.
Against my will, I am sent to bid you come into dinner.
Fair Beatrice, I thank thee for your pains.
Took no more pains for those things than you took pains to thank me. If it had been painful, I would not have come.
You take pleasure then in the message?
Yea, as much as you may take upon a knife's point and choke a doe with all. You have no stomach, Signor. Fare ye well.
Against my will, I am sent to bid you come into dinner. There's a double meaning in that. Why, I took no more pains to thank you than you took pains to thank me. Why, that's as much to say, any pains I take for you is as easy as thanks. If I do not pity the lady, I am a villain. If I do not love her, why, I am a fool. I shall go get her picture.
Good Margaret, come thee to the parlor. There thou shalt find my cousin Beatrice proposing with the Prince and Claudio. Whisper in her ear and tell her that I and Ursula walk in the orchard, and that our whole discourse is all of her. Say that thou overheardest us, and bid her steal to the pleached bower where honeysuckles ripened by the sun forbid the sun to enter. Like favorites made proud by princes who would get advance their pride against the power that bred it. This is thy office, bear thee well in it, and leave us alone. I'll make her come, I warrant you present. Now Ursula, when Beatrice doth come, as he traces out up and down, our talk must only be of Benedict. When I do name him, let it be thy part, to praise him more than ever man did merit. Our talk must be of how Benedict is sick in love with Beatrice. Of this matter is Cupid's little crafty hour made, that now, the wounds now hearsay and begin.
But are you so sure that Benedict loved Beatrice so entirely?
So says the prince, my neutral lord.
And did they bid you tell her of it, madam?
They did entreat me to acquaint her of it, but I persuaded them, if they loved Benedict, that they would wish him to wrestle with affection, and never let Beatrice know of it.
Why did you so? Doth not a gentleman deserve such a full and fortunate bed as Beatrice shall ever count?
Oh, God of love, he doth deserve as much as may be yielded to a man, but nature never framed a woman's heart a prouder stuff than that of Beatrice. Disdain and scorn ride sparkling in her eyes, misprizing what they look on. Her wit values itself so highly that all matters else seem weak. She cannot love nor take shape nor project of affection. She is so self-endeared.
Sure, I think so, and therefore were not good she knew his love, lest she'll make sport at it.
Why, you speak truth. I never yet saw a man how wise, how noble, young, yet rarely featured, but she would spell him backward. If fair-faced, she would swear the gentleman should be her sister. If black, by nature drawing of an antic made of a foul blot. If tall, a lancel-headed. If short, negate very vilely cut. If speaking, a vein blown by all winds. If silent, a blot moved by none. So turns she every man wrong side out, and never gives the truth and virtue, which simpleness and merit purchaseth.
Sure, such carping is not commendable.
No, not to be so odd and from all fashions, as Beatrice is, cannot be commendable. But who dare tell her so? If I should speak, she would mock me into air, laugh me out of myself, and press me to death with wit. Therefore, let Benedict like covered fire waste away inwardly. Better to die with mock than to die with tickling.
Yet tell her of it, madam. Hear what she will say.
No. Rather, I would go to Benedict and counsel him to fight against his passion, and I'll devise some honest slander to stain my cousin with. One doth not know how much an ill word may poison liking.
Oh, do not do your cousin such wrong. She cannot be but so much without true judgment, having so swift and excellent a wit as she is prized to have, as to refuse such a rare gentleman as Signor Benedict.
He is the only man of Italy, always excepting my dear Claudio.
I pray you not be angry with me, madam. Speaking my fancy, Signor Benedict, for shape, for bearing, argument, and valor, goes foremost in report through Italy.
Indeed, he had an excellent good name.
His excellence did earn it, ere he had it. When are you married, madam?
Oh, why every day tomorrow? Come, go in. I'll have that counsel with which is best to furnish me with tomorrow.
She's lying, but I warn you, if you have caught her, madam.
If it proves so, loving goes by half. Some Cupid kill with arrows, some with traps.
What fires in mine ears? Can this be true? Stand I condemned for pride and scorned so much? Contempt, farewell, and maiden pride adieu. No glory lives behind the back of such. But Benedict, love on, I will requite thee, taming my wild heart for thy loving hand. For if thou love me, my kindness shall incite thee to bind our loves up in a holy band. For others say thou dost deserve, and I believe it better than reporting thee.
I do but stay till your marriage be consummate, and then go I toward Aragon.
I'll bring you thither, my lord, if you'll vouchsafe.
Oh, nay. That would be as great a soil in the gloss of your new marriage as to show a child his new coat and forbid him to wear it. No, I will only be bold for Benedict for his company, for from the crown of his head to the sole of his foot he is all mirth. He hath twice or thrice cut Cupid's bowstring, and the little hangman dare not shoot at him again. He hath a heart as sound as a bell, and his tongue is the clapper. For what his heart thinks, his tongue speaks.
Gallants, I am not as I have been.
So say I, methinks you are sadder.
I hope he be in love.
Oh, hang him truant. There be no true drop of blood in him to be truly touched with love. If he be sad, he wants money.
I have the toothache.
Oh, what side for the toothache?
But a humor or a worm?
Well, he cannot master grief, but he who has it.
Well, then, if he not be in love with some woman, there's no believing old signs. I'll brush his hat of mornings. What should that bode?
Hath any man seen him at the barber's?
Nay, but the barber's man hath been seen with him, and the old ornament of his cheek hath already been stuffed with tennis balls.
Indeed, he looks younger than he did, by loss of the beard.
Oh, nay, he rubs himself with civet. You can smell him out by that.
That's as much to say the sweet youth's in love.
Oh, the greatest note of it is his melancholy.
Oh, and when was he wont to wash his face?
Yea, or to paint himself. For the which I hear what they say of him.
Nay, but in his jesting spirit now crept into lute strings governed by stops.
Oh, to conclude, he is in love.
Nay, but I know who loves him.
Oh, I know too, the one I warned who knows him not.
Yes, and in his ill conditions, despite all, dies for him.
She will be buried with her face upwards.
Come now. This is no remedy for the toothache. Old senor, walk with me a while. I have studied 8 or 9 wise words which these hobby horses must not hear.
Oh, for my life to break with him about Beatrice.
'Tis even so, but Hero and Margaret have by this played their parts, so the two bears will not bite one another once they meet.
My lord and brother, God save you.
Good den, brother.
If your leisure served, I would speak with you.
In private?
If it please you, yet Count Claudio may hear, for what I speak of concerns him.
What's the matter?
Means your lordship to be married tomorrow?
You know he does?
Oh, I know not that when he knows what I know.
If there be any impediment, I pray you to discover it.
Oh, if you may think I love you not, let that appear hereafter, and aim better by that I now will manifest. For my brother, I think he holds you well, and in dearness of heart, hath hoped to effect your ensuing marriage, but surely suit ill spent and labor ill bestowed.
What's the matter?
Well, I came hither to tell you, and circumstances shortened, for she has been too long a talking of. The lady is disloyal.
Who? Hero.
Even she. Leonato's hero, your hero, every man's hero.
Disloyal.
I could say she were worse. Think of you a worse title than I will fit her to it. But wonder not till further warrant. Go but with me tonight, and you shall see her chamber window entered, even the night before her wedding day.
May this be so?
I would not think it.
If you dare not trust that you see, confess not that you know. If you will follow me, I will show you enough, and when you have seen more and heard more, proceed accordingly.
If I see anything tonight why I should not wed her tomorrow, in the congregation where I should wed, there I will shame her.
And as I wooed for thee to obtain her, I will join with thee to disgrace her.
I shall disparage her no further, till you are my witnesses. Bear it coldly but till midnight, and let the issue show itself.
O day untowardly turned.
O mischief strangely thwarting.
O plague right well prevented. Or so you will say when you have seen the sequel.
Are you good men and true?
No. Yea, or else it were pity that they should suffer salvation, body and soul.
Nay, that were a punishment too good for them, if they have any allegiance in them, being chosen for the prince's watch.
Well, give them their charge, neighbor Dogberry.
First, who think you the most desertless man to be constable?
You okay, sir. Or George Seacole, for they can write and read.
Come hither, neighbor Seacole. God hath blessed you with a good name, but to be a well-favored man, that is a gift by fortune. But to read and to write, well, that comes by chance.
Both which, Master Constable,
You have. I knew this would be your answer. But for your favor, sir, why give God thanks and make no boast of it. And as for your reading and writing, let that appear only when there is no need for such vanity. You are thought to be the most senseless and fit man to be constable. Therefore, bear you the lantern. This is your charge. You are to bid any man stand in the prince's name.
And how if he will not stand?
Well, then make no note of him, and call the watch together presently, and thank God you are rid of the knave.
He will not stand when he is bidden. He is none of the prince's subjects.
True, and they are together with none but the prince's subjects. Oh, you are also not to talk, for the watch to babble and to talk. That is the most tolerable and not to be endured.
We will rather sleep than talk, because we know what belongs to a watch.
You speak like a most quiet and ancient watchman, for I cannot see how sleeping should offend. Only be sure that your bills be not stolen. You are also to go to the alehouses and bid those that are drunk to get them to bed.
And how if they will not?
Well, then leave them until they are sober. And if they give you no better answer, then you may say, well, you're not the man I took you for.
Well, sir.
If you meet a thief, you may suspect him by virtue of your office to be no true man. And for such a man, the less you make of him, well, the more it is to your honesty.
If we know him to be a thief, should we not lay hands upon him?
Well, by virtue of your office you may, but I think those that touch pitch will be defiled. No, the most peaceable way for you is, if you meet a thief, is to allow him to show himself for what he is and steal out of your company.
You've always been called a merciful man, partner.
I would not hang a dog by my will, more so any man that has any honesty in him.
You hear a child cry in the night. You must call to the nurse and bid her still it.
How if the nurse be asleep and not hear us?
Well then, God, just wait, just leave and let her be woken by the child. For the ewe that does not go to its lamb when it baths will most less so go to a calf when it bleats.
'Tis very true.
Well, masters, this is the end of your charge. You are to present the prince's own person. If you meet a prince in the night, you may stay him.
Nay, by Our Lady, I think I cannot.
Well, 5 shillings to the man on it that can state the standards. You may stay him. Now, barring the prince be willing, for the watch would offend no man, and it is an offense to stay a man against his will.
By Our Lady, I think it be so.
Well, masters, good night. If there's any manner of weight changes, call up me, and keep your fellows' counsels and your own, and, well, good night. Come, neighbor.
Well, masters, we hear our charge. Let us sit upon the church bench until 2, and then off to bed.
Wait one word more, honest neighbors. I pray you go and watch over Signor Leonardo's door. For the wedding being there tomorrow, there ought to be a great coil there tonight. Adieu. Be vigilant, I beseech you.
Conrad! Conrad! What? Conrad! Peace, Sir Not? Conrad, I say!
Here, man, him at thy elbow.
Master, my elbow itched. I thought there would a scab follow.
I will owe thee an answer for that, but onward with thy tale.
Stand thee then close under this penthouse, for it drizzles rain, and I will, like a true drunkard, utter all to thee.
Some treason masters yet stand close.
Therefore know, I have earned of Don John 1,000 ducats.
Is it possible that any villainy should be so dear?
Thou shouldst rather ask if it were possible any villainy should be so rich, for when rich villains have need of poor ones may make what price they will.
I wonder at it.
That shows thou art unconfirmed. Thou knowest that the fashion of a doublet, or a hat, or a cloak is nothing to a man?
Yes, it is apparel.
I mean the fashion.
Yes, the fashion is the fashion.
I might as well say the fool's the fool, but seest thou not what a deformed thief this fashion is?
I know that deformed. It has been a vile thief this 7 year. It goes up and down like a gentleman.
Didst thou not hear somebody?
No. 'Twas the vein on the house.
Seest thou not what a deformed thief this fashion is? How giddily it turns about all the hot bloods between 14 and 5 and 30, sometimes fashioning them like Pharaoh's soldiers in the Witty painting, sometimes like the God-Bell's priests in the old church window, sometimes like the shaven Hercules in the smirched worm-eaten tapestry where his codpiece seems as massy as his club.
All this I see, and I see that the fashion wears out more apparel than the man. But art thou not thyself giddy with the fashion that thou hast shifted out of thy tale into telling me of the fashion?
Not so neither, but know that tonight I have wooed Margaret, the Lady Hero's gentlewoman, by the name of Hero. She leads me out at her mistress's chamber window, bids me 1,000 times good night. I tell you this tale finally. I should first tell thee how Don Pedro and Claudio and my master, planted, placed, and possessed by my master Don John, saw afar off in the orchard this amiable encounter.
And thought they Margaret was Hero?
2 of them did, the Prince and Claudio, but the devil my master knew she was Margaret, and partly by his oaths, which first possessed them, partly by the dark night, which did deceive them, but chiefly by my villainy, which did confirm any slander that Don John had made. Away went Claudio, enraged, swore he would meet her as appointed the next morning at the temple, and there, before the whole congregation, shamed her with what he saw overnight, and sent her home without a husband.
We charge thee in the Prince's name stand! Call up the right master constable, for we have here discovered the most dangerous piece of lechery in all the Commonwealth.
And that deformed is one of them. I know him, awares a law.
Masters, masters, you'll be made bring this deformed forth, I warrant it. Now, never speak. Let us obey you to come with us.
We would like to prove a goodly commodity being taken up with these men's bills.
Commodity in question, I warrant you. Come, we'll obey you.
Good Ursula, go wake my cousin and desire her to rise.
I will, lady.
And bid her come hither.
Well,
Troth, I think your other rubato were better. No, pray thee, good knight, I'll wear this.
Why, my trust's not so good, and I warrant your cousin will say so.
My cousin's a fool, and thou art another. I'll wear none but this.
I like the new tire with an excellently, if the hair were a thought browner, and your gown's a most rare fashion and fate. I saw the Duchess of Milan's gown that they praise so.
What is these, they say?
Why, my trust but a nightgown in respect of yours. Cloth of gold and cuts, and laced with silver, set with pearls. Down sleeves, side sleeves, and skirts round on your blonde, bluish tinsel. By my trust, but a nightgown in respect of yours.
Oh, God, give me joy to wear it. My heart is exceeding heavy.
'Twill be heavier soon by the weight of a man.
Fie upon thee, art not ashamed?
Of what, lady? Of speaking honorably? Is not marriage honorable in a beggar? Is not your lord honorable without marriage? I think you would have me say, saving your reverence. And bad thinking do not rest true speaking. I'll offend nobody. Is there any harm in the heavier for a husband? None, I think, can it be the right husband and the right wife, otherwise 'tis light, not heavy. Ask our Lady Beatrice, else here she comes.
Good morrow, coz.
Good morrow, sweet hero.
Why, how now? Do you sing in a sick tune?
I'm all out of other tunes, sweet things.
Oh, clap us into light of love. That goes without a burden. Do you sing it and I'll dance it?
Will you light a love with your heels, then if your husband shall have barns enough, you'll see he shall lack no stables.
Oh, illegitimate construction. I scorn that with my mules.
'Tis almost 5 o'clock, cousin. 'Tis time you were ready. By my troth, I'm exceedingly ill.
For a hawk, a horse, or a husband?
For the letter that begins them all, H.
Well, and you be not turned Turk. There's no more sailing by the star.
What means the fool, trow?
Oh, nothing I, but God send everyone their heart's desire.
These gloves, the Count sent me, they are of an excellent perfume.
I am stuffed, cousin. I cannot smell.
A maid and stuffed. There's good for catching the cold.
Oh, God help me, God help me. How long have you professed apprehension?
Ever since you left it. Doth not my wit become you rarely?
It is not seen clearly enough. You should put it on your cap. By my troth, I am sick.
Get you some of this distilled Cardus Benedictus, and lay it to your heart. It is the only thing for a qualm.
There thou prickest her with a thistle. Benedictus, what moral have you in this Benedictus?
Moral? Nay, by Our Lady, I have no moral meaning. I meant plain holy thistle. You may think, perchance, I think you are in love. Nay, by Our Lady, I am not such a fool to think what I list. Nor I list not to think what I can. Nor indeed I cannot think. If I would think my heart out of thinking that you are in love, that you will be in love, or that you can be in love. And yet, Benedict was such another, and now has he become a man. He always swore he would not marry, and yet now, in spite of his heart, he eats his meat without grudging. And how you may be converted, I know not, but methinks you look with your eyes as other women do.
What pace is it that thy tongue keeps?
Not a false gallop.
Madam, withdraw. The Prince, the Count, Don John, Signor Benedict, and all the gallants of the town have come to fetch you to church.
Help to dress me, good coz, good Meg, good Ursula.
What with you, honest neighbor?
Mary, so we would have some confidence with you that discerns you nearly.
Well, be brief, for it is a busy time with me.
Mary, that it is.
Yes, in truth it is, sir.
Good man, Burgess, sir, speaks a little bit off the matter. An old man, sir. Will speak, as they say, as the, well, age is in, but the wood is out. But his, in faith, honest, as skin between his brows.
Yes, I thank God I am as honest as any man living. That is, an old man, and still no honester than I.
Comparisons are odorous. Paris!
Burgess. Neighbors, you were tedious.
Oh, well, it pleases your worship to say so. But we are but the poor duke's officers, but for my own part, if I were as tedious as a king, I could find it in my heart to bestow it all upon your worship.
All thy tedious on me, huh?
Yea, and 'twere 1,000 pound more than it is, for I hear as good exclamation on your worship as any that's in the city. And though I be but a poor man, I am glad to hear it.
And so am I.
I would fain to know what you have to say.
Marry, sir, our watch tonight, accepting your worship's present, have taken a couple as of arrant knaves as any in Messina.
He's a good old man, sir, but he will talk, as I say, as the age is in, but the wit is out. God help us, it is the world to say. But well said, in faith, neighbor Burgess. But God's a good man. Two men ride of a horse, one must ride behind, and An honest soul, ill faith as ever that broke bread, but God is to be worshipped, not all men are alike. Alas, good neighbor.
Indeed, he comes too short of you.
All gifts that God gives.
I must leave you.
Oh, wait, one word, sir. Our watcher has indeed comprehended two auspicious persons, and we would have them this morning examined by your worship.
Take their examination to yourself and bring it to me.
It shall be sufficient.
Drink some wine, there you go.
My lord, they stay for you to give your daughter to her husband.
I wait upon them. I am ready.
Go, good partner, go get you to Francis Seacole. Bid him bring his pen and inkhorn. We are now to examination these men.
We must do so wisely.
We will spare no wit, I warrant you. And here's that shall bring some men to non-com. But only get the learned writer to set down our excommunication. And meet me at the jail.
Come, Friar, let us speak us in the plain form of marriage, and we'll recap their particular duties afterward.
You come hither, my lord, to be married to this lady?
No.
To be married to her. Friar, you come to marry her.
You come hither, my lady, to be married to this count?
I do.
If either of you share any inward impediment as to why the two of you should not be conjoined, I charge you on your souls to utter it.
Know you any hero?
None, my lord.
Know you any count?
I dare make his answer none.
Oh, what men dare do, what men may do, what men daily do, not knowing what they do.
How now, interjections, why, let them be of laughing, as ha, and he.
Standing by, Friar. Father, by your leave, will you with free and unconstrained soul give me this maid, your daughter?
As freely as God gave her to me.
Oh, but what have I to give back to you that may counterpoise such a rich and precious gift?
Nothing unless you render her again.
Sweet prince, you learn me noble thankfulness. There, Leonardo, take her back again. Give not this rotten orange to your friend. She is but the sign and semblance of her honor. Oh, what cunning sin can cover itself with all? Comes not that blood as modest evidence to witness simple virtue? Oh, behold how like a maid she blushes here. Would you not swear, all that see her, that she were a maid by these exterior shows? But she is none. She knows the heat of a luxurious bed. Her blush is guiltiness, not modesty.
What do you mean, my lord?
Not to be married, not to knit my soul to an approved wanton.
My lord, you and your own youth make resistance of her.
I know what you would say. If I had known her, you would say she did embrace me as a husband to extenuate the forehand sin. No. Leonardo, I never tempted her with word too large, but as a brother to a sister showed bashful sincerity and comely love.
And seemed I ever otherwise to you?
Out on these seemingly, I will write against it. You seem to me as Diane in her orb, as chaste as the bud ere it be blown, but you are more intemperate in your blood than Venus or those pampered animals that rage in savage sensuality.
Is my lord well that he doth speak so wide?
Sweet prince, why not speak you?
What should I speak? I stand dishonored that have gone about to link my dear friend to a common stale.
Is this true, or do I dream?
Oh, sir, they are spoken, and these things are true.
Leonardo, stand I here. Is this the prince? Is this the prince's brother? Is this face heroes, and our eyes our own?
All these are true, but what of it?
Let me but move one question to your daughter, and in that fatherly and kindly power that you have in her, bid her answer truly.
I charge thee do so, as art thou my child.
Oh God, defend me how I am beset. What kind of catechizing call you this?
To make you answer truly to your name.
Is it not hero? Who can just blot that name which is unreproachable?
Hero. Only hero can blot out hero's virtue. What man was it that you talked with yesternight at your window betwixt the hours of 12 and 1, if you are a maid, answer to this.
I spoke with no man at that hour, my lord.
Why then are you no maid? Yet I'm sorry you must hear upon my honor. Myself, my brother, and this grieved count did see her. Hear her at that hour last night talk with a ruffian at her chamber window, who, like a most liberal villain, confessed to the vile encounters they have had 1,000 times in secret.
Well, fine, they're not to be named, my lord, not to be spoken. There is not chastity enough in language without offense to utter them. Thus, pretty lady, I'm sorry for thy much misgovernment.
Oh, hero, what a hero hadst thou been if half thy outward graces had been placed upon the counsels of thy heart, but fare thee most foul farewell. For thee I will lock up the gates of love, and on my eyelids shall conjecture hang to turn all thoughts of beauty into harm, and never shall it be more gracious.
Hath no man's dagger here a point for me?
Why, hero, sweet hero, why forsake you, child?
Come, let us go. These things come thus to light. Smother her spirits up.
Oh, fate, stay thy heavy hand. Death is the fairest cover for her shame that may be wished for.
How doth the lady?
Dead, I think. Help, uncle. Senior Benedict, friar, uncle.
Dost thou look up?
Yea, wherefore should she not?
Wherefore, why not every earthly thing cries shame upon her? You see the story that is written in her blood? Do not live, hero. Do not open thine eyes. I doubt her she has fallen into a pit of ink, that the wide sea has drops too few to wash her clean, and salt too little to give season to her foul and tainted flesh!
Sir, be patient. For my part, I am much attired in wonder, and know not what to say.
On my soul, my cousin is belied.
Lady, were you not her bedfellow last night?
No, truly, but until last night I have 12 months been her bedfellow.
Confirm. Would Claudia lie with the two princes lie, who watched their faces speaking of her foulness? Therefore, let her die.
Let me speak, for I have been silent but so long, and through these recent past events, by noting of the lady, I have marked 1,000 blushing apparitions. To begin with her face, 1,000 innocent shames that beat away those blushes. And in her eye there hath appeared a fire that burns away the error that these princes hold against her maiden truth. Call me a fool, trust not my readings nor my observations, with which experimental seal doth warrant the tenure of my book. Trust not my age, reverence, calling, nor divinity, if this sweet lady lie not guiltless here under some biting error.
Friar, why cover with excuse that appears in proper nakedness?
Milady, what man is he you are accused of?
They know that do accuse me, but I know none. If I know more of any man alive than that which maiden modesty doth warrant, then let my sins lack mercy. My father, prove you that any hour who converse with any man at that hour or that I exchange any words, then refuse me, hate me, and torture me to death.
There is some strange misprision in the princes.
The two of them have the very bent of honor, and if their wisdoms be misled in this wise, then the fault of it lives in John the bastard, whose villainies do toil in the very frames of his spirit.
I do know what they speak of. They speak the truth, these hands will tear her. If not, the proudest of them shall hear.
Let my counsel sway you in this case. The princes here, they believe your daughter to be dead, no? For a while, let her be kept away, and publish it that she is dead indeed. And then, upon your family's old memorial, hang mournful epitaphs, and do all rites that appertain unto a baron.
What of this? What will this do?
When the prince hears that sweet hero died by his words, the very idea of her life shall sweetly creep into the study of his imagination, in far more precious habit than when she lived indeed. And then shall he mourn. And if love ever had a grip on his liver, and if ever he wished that he had not so accused her, no. Though he believes his accusations true, let this be so. Yes, the truth may fashion these events in far better likelihood than I ever could. But if all this goes false and not go well, you may hide her away in some religious and reclusive life, out of all eyes, ears, minds, tongues, and injuries.
Sir, let this friar advise you. Thou knowest that I have nothing but love for Claudio and for the prince, but I shall partake in this.
As I flow with grief at the smallest twine bag.
'Tis well consented. Presently away. Come, lady. Your wedding day is but prolonged. Please, have patience and endure.
Lady Beatrice, hast thou wept all this while?
Yea, and I will weep a little longer.
Well, I shall not desire that.
You have no reason to. I do it freely.
Surely I do think that your cousin hath been wronged.
Oh, how much the man might deserve of me who could right her.
Well, is there any way to show such friendship?
A very even way, but no such friend.
Could a man do it?
It's a man's office, but not yours.
Beatrice, I do not love anything in this world so well as thee. Is that not strange?
Strange as the things I know not, for it were possible for me to say that I love nothing as much as you, and I lie not, for I confess nothing, nor deny nothing. I am sorry for my cousin.
By my sword, thou lovest me.
Do not swear it and eat it.
I will swear it, and I will make him eat it that says I love not you.
Will you not eat your word?
Yea, and with no sauce to deceive it, for I profess I love thee.
Why then, God forgive me.
My sweet Beatrice, for what offense?
You have stayed me in a happy hour. I was about to protest that I love thee.
Do it with all thy heart.
I love you with so much of my heart that there is none left to protest.
Come, bid me do any office for you.
Kill Claudio.
Why no, not for the wide world.
You kill me to deny it. There is no love left in you. Farewell.
Hey, tarry, sweet Beatrice.
In faith, I will go.
We'll be friends first.
You easier be friends with me than fight with mine enemy.
Think you Claudio is thine enemy?
Is it not hath approved a villain? He that hath slandered, scorned, dishonored my kinswoman? Oh God, that I were a man. What? Bear her in hand until it's time to take hands, and then with public accusation, unmitigated rancor, uncovered slander, oh God, that I were a man, I would eat his heart in the marketplace.
Oh, hear me, Beatrice.
Talk with a man out a window, a proper saying.
Nay, but Beatrice.
Sweet hero, she is slandered, she is wronged, she is undone. Princes and counties, surely a princely testimony. A good count, Count Confect. Oh God, would I have any friend who would be a man for my sake? But manhood is turned into compliment, valor into curtsies, and men are turned into tongues and trim ones too. He is as valiant as Hercules, he that swears his word and eat it. I cannot live a man with wishing, therefore I will die a woman in grieving.
Beatrice, by these hands I profess that I love thee.
Use it for my love in some other way than swearing by it.
Know in thy soul that Claudio hath wronged Hero.
As sure as I have a thought or a soul.
Enough. I am engaged. I will challenge him. By this hand I do kiss. And by it he will render me a dear account, or else I shall subscribe him a coward. Now, go see to thy cousin. I must say she is dead, and so farewell.
Is our whole disassembly appeared?
Oh, a stool and a cushion for the sexton.
Which be the malefactors?
Marry, that I am, and my partner.
Nay, that's certain. We've the exhibition to examine.
But which be the offenders? Let them come forth before Master Constable.
Yea, let them come before me. What is your name, friend?
Sporaccio.
Pray write down Master Braccio. And yours, Sirrah.
I am a gentlewoman, sir, and my name is Conrad.
Oh, well. Write down Master Gentleman Conrad. Masters, do you serve God?
Yea, sir, we hope.
Well, write down that they hope to serve God. But write God first, for God defend, but God should come before such villains. Masters, it is already proved already that you are little better than false knaves, and it will go so to be thought so shortly. What say you to this?
Marry, sir, I say that we are none.
A marvelous witty fellow, I assure you, but I will go around her. A word in your ears, Sirrah? I say to you that you are thought to be false knaves.
I say, sir, we are none.
Well, stand aside before God, they are both in the tale. Have you written down that they are none?
Master Constable, you go not the way to examine. You must call forth the watch that are their accusers.
Yea, that is the eftest way. Let the watch come forward. Masters, I beseech you, in the prince's name, accuse these gentlemen.
This man said that Don John, the prince's brother, was a villain.
Write down that Prince John is a villain. Wait, that is flat. Perjury if ever was committed. To call the prince's brother a villain.
Master Constable.
Peace, fellow. I do not like the look of you, I promise thee.
What heard you him say else?
Mary that he had received 1,000 ducats of Don John for accusing the lady hero wrongfully.
Oh, that's flat burglary has ever been committed.
Yea, by mass, that it is.
What else, fellow?
And that Count Claudio, upon his words, did mean to disgrace Hero in front of the whole assembly and not marry her.
Oh, villains! Thou shalt be condemned into everlasting redemption for this.
What else?
This is all.
And this is more, masters, than you can deny. Prince John is this morning secretly stolen away. Hero was in this manner accused, and in this very manner refused, and upon the grief of this suddenly died. Master Constable, you must let these men be bound and brought to Leonato's. I will go before him and show him their examination.
Come, let them be opinioned. Let them be in the hands of Coxcomb.
God's my life, where is the sexton? Just write down the prince's officer's coxcomb. Well, combine them. Thou naughty varlet.
Away, sir. You are an ass! You are an ass!
Dost thou not suspect my place? Dost thou not suspect my years? Oh, that he been here to write me down as an ass, but masters, forget not that I am an ass. Though it not be written down, forget not that I am an ass. No, thou villain, thou art full of piety, which shall be proved upon good witness. I am a wise fellow, which is more an officer, and which is more a household, and which is more as pretty a piece of flesh as any that's in Messina. And one that knows the law. Go to a rich fellow enough, go to one who hath had his losses, and who hath 2 gowns, all of which is handsome about him. No, bring him away. Oh, that I be written down as an ass.
If you go on thus, you will kill yourself, and 'tis not wisdom thus to second grief against yourself.
I pray thee, cease thy counsel, which flows in my ears as profitless as water into a sea. Give me no counsel. Charm ache with air and words of that. No. No, 'tis all men's office to bear with patience to those who wring under the load of sorrow. Therefore, give me no counsel. My grief cry is louder than advertisement.
Therein do men from children nothing differ.
Peace, let me be of flesh and blood, for there was never a philosopher who could endure the toothache, but they've written the style of the gods.
Yet bend not all the harm upon yourself. Make those that do offend you suffer too.
There speak reason, and I will do so. My soul tells me that my hero is belied, but Claudio shall know, and so shall the prince and all who dishonor her.
Here come the prince and Claudio hastily.
Good day, good day.
Good day to both of you.
My lords? We have some haste, Leonardo.
Oh, some haste, my lord. Well, very well, my lord. So hasty now? Well, all is one.
Nay, do not quarrel with us, good old man.
If he could right himself before, like some of us would lie low.
Who wrongs him?
Thou do. Thou dost wrong me, thou dissembler. Nay, never lay a hand upon thy sword, and I fear thee not.
Marry be shrew my hand, old man, if it should give your age such cause of fear. In faith, my hand meant nothing to my sword.
Tush, tush, man. Don't flee or jest at me. I speak like a daughter nor a fool. Thou hast belied my innocent child. Her slander has gone through her heart, and she was buried in a tomb with her ancestors, where her scandal has never slept, framed by thy villainy.
My villainy?
Thy villainy, God, I say!
You speak not right, old man.
My lord, I will prove it on his body he dare. Despite his nice fence and active practice, his bloom of youth and May of lustihood.
Away, I will not have to do with you!
Thou hast killed my innocent child. If thou kill me, thou hast killed a man.
He shall kill two of us, and folk indeed, but that's no matter. Let him kill one first. Win me and wear me, let him answer me. Come, boy, sir boy, come follow me. Boy, I'll whip you from your foining fence. Nay, as a gentlewoman, I will.
Sister.
Content yourself. God knows I love my niece, and she is dead, slandered to death by villains that dare as well answer as men indeed, as I dare take a serpent by thy tongue. Boys, apes, braggarts, jacks, milksops!
Sister Antonia.
Content yourself. I know them, yea, and what they weigh, even to the utmost scruple, scrambling, outfacing, fashion-monging boys that lie, and cog, and flout, and deprave, and slander. Go antically and show outward hideousness, and speak off half a dozen dangerous words about how they might hurt their enemies if they durst. And that is all.
Sister.
Do not you meddle, let me deal in this.
Gentlemen, both, we will not wake your patience. My heart is sorry for your daughter's death, but on my honor, she was charged with nothing but what was true and very full of proof. I will not hear you.
No. Come, sister. I will be heard.
And shall, or some of us will smart for it.
Ah, see, here comes the man we went to seek.
Now, senor, what news?
Good day, my lord.
Welcome, senor. You are almost come to part about a friend.
We would have liked to have had our two noses snapped off by two old gentlemen without teeth.
Leonardo and his sister. What thinkst thou? Had we fought, I doubt we would have been too young for them.
Why, in a false quarrel, there is no true honor. I have come to seek you both.
We've been up and down to seek thee, for we are high-proof melancholy, and would fain have it beaten away. Wilt thou use thy wit?
It is in my scabbard, shall I draw it?
Dost thou wear thy wit by thy side?
Never any did so, though very many have been beside their wit. I will bid thee draw as we do the minstrels draw to pleasure us.
Sir, thou shalt press thy wit against me, as in the career. I beg you, choose a different subject.
Nay, then, give him another staff. This last was broke cross.
Ooh, by this light he changes more and more. I think he be angry indeed.
Oh, well, if he be, then he knows how to turn his girdle.
Speak I a word in your ear.
God bless me from a challenge.
You are a villain. I jest not. And I will have you with how you dare, with what you dare, and when you dare. You have killed a sweet and innocent lady, and her death shall fall heavy upon you. Come, let me hear from you.
I will meet you so we may have good cheer.
What, a feast? A feast.
In faith, I thank him. He hath bid me to a calf's head, and a capon, the which I do not carve most curiously. Say, my knife's not. Shall I not find a woodcock too?
Sir, your wit goes easily. It ambles.
I will tell thee how Beatrice praised thy wit the other day. I said thou hast to find them. True, said she, a fine little one. Nay, said I, he has a great wit. Just, said she, as a great cross one. Right. Nay, said I, he hath a good one. Just, said she, as it hurts no one. Nay, said I, the gentleman is wise. True, said she, a wise gentleman. Nay, said I, he hath the tongues. That I believe, said she, for he swore a thing to me on Monday night that he forswore on Tuesday morning. There's a double tongue, there's two tongues. And thus an hour did she transshape thy particular virtues, and concluded with a sigh that thou wast the properest man in Italy.
Oh, for the which she wept heartily, and said she cared not.
Yea, but yet for all of that, she concluded if she did not hate him deadly, she would love him dearly.
All, and moreover, when God saw him, when he hath hidden the garden.
Ooh, but when shall we set these savage bull's horns on the sensible Benedict's head?
Yea, and text underneath that says, here lies Benedict, the married man.
Fare ye well, boy. I shall leave thee to thy gossip-like humors. Indeed, thou do break jests, as braggarts do their swords. And I thank God they do not hurt. My lord, for your many conveniences, I must thank thee, but I must discontinue from your company. Your brother, the bastard, hath fled from Messina. You and you among you have killed a sweet and innocent lady. And as for my lord Lackbeard there, why, I shall confront him another day, and until then, why, peace be with him.
He is in earnest.
Most profound earnest, and I'll warrant thee for the love of Beatrice?
And hath challenged thee.
Most sincerely.
What a pretty thing man is when he goes off in his doublet and hose and leaves off his wit.
He is then a giant to an ape, but then is an ape such a doctor to a man?
But be still a while. Pluck up my heart and be sad. Did he not say my brother was fled?
Come you, sir, if justice cannot tame you, she shall there weigh more reasons in her balance. And nay, since you be a cursing hypocrite once, you must be looked to.
How now? Two of my brother's men bound, Barachia one?
Hearken after their offense, my lord.
Officers, what offense have these folk done?
Marry, sir, they have committed false report. Moreover, they have spoken untruths. Secondarily, they are slanderers. And sixth, and lastly, they have belied the lady. Thirdly, they have verified unjust things. And to conclude, they are lying knaves.
First, I ask thee what they have done. Thirdly, I ask thee what is their offense. Sixth, and lastly, why they are committed. And to conclude, what you lay to their charge.
Rightly reasoned in his own division, but by my troth, there's at least one meaning well suited.
What is your offense, masters, that you are thus bound to this answer? This learned constable is too cunning to be understood. Tell me, what's your offense?
Sweet prince, let me go no further to mine answer. Do you hear me, and let this count kill me? I have deceived even your very eyes. What your wisdoms could not discover, these shallow fools have brought to light. How they overnight heard me confessing to this woman, how Don John incensed me to slander the Lady Hero, how you were brought to the orchard and saw me court Margaret in Hero's garments, how you disgraced her when you should marry her. My villainy you have upon record, which I would rather seal with my death than repeat over to my shame. This lady is dead upon mine and my master's false accusations. Now I briefly desire nothing but the reward of a villain.
Runs not this speech like iron through your blood?
I hath drunk poison while he uttered it.
But did my brother set thee to this?
Yea, and paid me richly for the practice of it.
He is composed and framed in treachery, and has fled upon this villainy.
Sweet hero, now thy image doth appear in the rare semblance that I loved at first.
Come, bring away the plaintiffs. By this time, our sexton hath reformed Signor Leonardo of this matter. Oh, and masters, do not forget that when time and place shall serve, that I am an ass.
Here comes Master Signor Leonato and the sexton too.
Where is the villain? Let me note upon him, for when I see another man like him, I may avoid him. Which of these is he?
If you wish to know your wrong, look on me.
Art thou the slave that thy breath has killed my innocent child?
Yea, even I alone.
No, not so, villain. I have lied thyself. Here stand two honorable men, 1/3 blood who had a hand in it. I thank you, my lords, for the death of my daughter. Record it with your high and noble deeds. 'Twas bravely done, if you think of it.
I know not to pray your patience, yet speak I must. Choose whatever revenge your intervention can lay upon me, yet sinned I not, but in mistaking.
By my soul nor I. And yet I would bend under any heavy weight that this good old man would enjoin me to.
I cannot bid you let my daughter live. That were impossible. But I pray thee, possess the people here in Messina and tell her of her innocence. Hang an epitaph above her tomb and sing it to her bones. Sing it tonight. And tomorrow morning, you will come to my house. And since you cannot be my brother-in-law, be yet my nephew. My sister has the very copy of my child who is dead. Thus dies my revenge.
Noble sir, your overkindness doth wring tears from me. I will henceforth dispose of poor Claudia.
And I will see you tomorrow. This naughty man, so that should be brought before Margaret, whom I believe was packing this wrong, hired to it by your brother.
No, by my soul, she was not, nor knew not what she did when she spoke with me, but always hath been just and virtuous in anything that I do know by her.
Oh, moreover, sir, which is not under white and black, this offender here, the plaintiff, did indeed call me an ass. I beseech you, let it be remembered in his punishment. Oh, also the watch heard them talk of one deformed, one who has a key in his ear and a lock that hangs from it, and one that borrows in God's name and used it all for so long and gives nothing back that now some men's hearts grow hardened with, never giving back in God's name. I pray you, examine them upon this point.
I thank thee for thy pains.
Why, thy worship speaks like a most reverent and honest youth.
And here is for thy pains.
God save the foundation.
Go, I discharge thee of thy prisoner.
I leave an errant knave with your worship, which I beseech your worship to question yourself for good example of others. God keep your worship. Oh, I wish your worship well. God restore you to health. I humbly give you leave to depart. And if a merry meeting should be wished, God prohibit it. Come, neighbor.
Very well, my lords.
We will not fail.
Tonight, I'll mourn with Hero.
Come, we'll bring this man before Margaret.
If you go on thus, you will kill yourself, and 'tis not wisdom thus to second grief against yourself.
I pray thee, cease thy counsel, which flows in my ears as profitless as water into a sea. Give me no counsel. Charm ache with air and words of that. No. No, 'tis all men's office to bear with patience to those who wring under the load of sorrow. Therefore, give me no counsel. My grief cries louder than advertisement.
Therein do men from children nothing differ.
Peace, let me be of flesh and blood, for there was never a philosopher who could endure the toothache, but they've written the style of the gods.
Yet, bend not all the harm upon yourself. Make those that do offend you suffer too.
There speak reason, and now I will do so. My soul tells me that my hero is belied, but Claudio shall know, and so shall the prince and all who dishonor her.
Here come the prince and Claudio hastily.
Good day, good day.
Good day to both of you.
My lords?
We have some haste, Leonardo.
Oh, some haste, my lord. Well, very well, my lord. So hasty now? Well, all is one.
Nay, do not quarrel with us, good old man.
If he could right himself before, like some of us would lie low.
Who wrongs him?
Thou do. Thou dost wrong me, thou dissembler. Nay, never lay a hand upon thy sword, and I fear thee not.
Marry, beshrew my hand, old man, if it should give your age such cause of fear. In faith, my hand meant nothing to my sword.
Tush, tush, man. Do not speak me like a dual lord. No. Ooh. Thou hast belied my innocent child, and your scandal has come through her heart where everything ever slept. By thy villainy. My villainy! Thy villainy, die, I say!
You speak not right, old man.
I will prove it on his body, my lord, despite his active practice and nice fence, his bloom of lustihood.
Oh wait, I will not have to deal with you!
Thou hast killed my innocent child. If thou kill me, thou hast killed a man.
He shall kill two of us, and folk indeed, but that's no matter. Let him kill one first. Win me and wear me, let him answer me. Come, boy, sir boy, come follow me. Boy, I'll whip you from your foining fence. Nay, as a gentlewoman, I will.
Sister.
Content yourself. God knows I loved my niece, and she is dead, slandered to death by villains that dare as well answer as men indeed, as I dare take a serpent by thy tongue. Boys, apes, braggarts, jacks, milksops!
Sister Antonia.
Content yourself. I know them, yea, and what they weigh, even to the utmost scruple, scrambling, outfacing, fashion-monging boys that lie, and cog, and flout, and deprave, and slander. Go antically and show outward hideousness, and speak off half a dozen dangerous words about how they might hurt their enemies if they durst. And that is all.
Sister.
Do not you meddle, let me deal in this.
Gentlemen, both, we will not wake your patience. My heart is sorry for your daughter's death, but on my honor, she was charged with nothing but what was true and very full of proof.
My lord.
I will not hear you.
No. Come, sister. I will be heard.
And shall, or some of us will smart for it.
Ah, see, here comes the man we went to seek.
Now, senor, what news?
Good day, my lord.
Welcome, senor. You are almost come to part about a friend.
We would have liked to have had our two noses snapped off by two old gentlemen without teeth.
Leonardo and his sister. What thinkst thou? Had we fought, I doubt we would have been too young for them.
Why, in a false quarrel, there is no true honor. I have come to seek you both.
We've been up and down to seek thee, for we are high-proof melancholy, and would fain have it beaten away. Wilt thou use thy wit?
It is in my scabbard, shall I draw it?
Dost thou wear thy wit by thy side?
Never any did so, though very many have been beside their wit. I will bid thee draw as we do the minstrels draw to pleasure us.
Sir, thou shalt press thy wit against me, as in the career. I beg you, choose a different subject.
Nay, then, give him another staff. This last was broke cross.
Ooh, by this light he changes more and more. I think he be angry indeed.
Oh, well, if he be, then he knows how to turn his girdle.
Speak I a word in your ear.
God bless me from a challenge.
You are a villain. I jest not. And I will have you with how you dare, with what you dare and when you dare. You have killed a sweet and innocent lady, and her death shall fall heavy upon you. Come, let me hear from you.
I will meet you so we may have good cheer.
What, a feast? A feast.
In faith, I thank him. He hath bid me to a calf's head, and a capon, the which I do not carve most curiously. Say, my knife's not. Shall I not find a woodcock too?
Sir, your wit goes easily. It ambles.
I will tell thee how Beatrice praised thy wit the other day. I said, thou hast to find them. True, said she, a fine little one. Nay, said I, he has a great wit. Just, said she, as a great cross one. Right. Nay, said I, he hath a good one. Just, said she, as it hurts no one. Nay, said I, the gentleman is wise. True, said she, a wise gentleman. Nay, said I, he hath the tongues. That I believe, said she, for he swore a thing to me on Monday night that he forswore on Tuesday morning. There's a double tongue, there's two tongues. And thus an hour did she transshape thy particular virtues, and concluded with a sigh that thou wast the properest man in Italy.
Oh, for the which she wept heartily, and said she cared not.
Yea, but yet for all of that, she concluded if she did not hate him deadly, she would love him dearly.
All, and moreover, when God saw him, when he hath hidden the garden.
Ooh, but when shall we set these savage bull's horns on the sensible Benedict's head?
Yea, and text underneath that says, here lies Benedict, the married man.
Fare ye well, boy. I shall leave thee to thy gossip-like humors. Indeed, thou do break jests, as braggarts do their swords. And I thank God they do not hurt. My lord, for your many conveniences I do give my humble thanks, but I must discontinue from your company. Your brother, the bastard, hath fled from Messina. You have killed a sweet and innocent lady. And for my lord Lackbeard there, well, I shall confront him another day. But until then, peace be with him.
He is in earnest.
Most profound earnest, and I'll warrant thee for the love of Beatrice?
And hath challenged thee.
Most sincerely.
What a pretty thing man is when he goes off in his doublet and hose and leaves off his wit.
He is then a giant to an ape, but then is an ape such a doctor to a man?
But be still a while. Pluck up my heart and be sad. Did he not say my brother was fled?
Come you, sir, if justice cannot tame you, she shall there weigh more reasons in her balance. And nay, since you be a cursing hypocrite once, you must be looked to.
How now? Two of my brother's men bound, Baracchia one?
Hearken after their offense, my lord.
Officers, what offense have these folk done?
Marry, sir, they have committed false report. Moreover, they have spoken untruths. Secondarily, they are slanderers. And sixth, and lastly, they have belied the lady. Thirdly, they have verified unjust things. And to conclude, they are lying knaves.
First, I ask thee what they have done. Thirdly, I ask thee what is their offense. Sixth, and lastly, why they are committed. And to conclude, what you lay to their charge.
Rightly reasoned in his own division, but by my troth, there's at least one meaning well suited.
What is your offense, masters, that you are thus bound to this answer? This learned constable is too cunning to be understood. Tell me, what's your offense?
Sweet prince, let me go no further to mine answer. Do you hear me, and let this count kill me? I have deceived even your very eyes. What your wisdoms could not discover, these shallow fools have brought to light. How they overnight heard me confessing to this woman, how Don John incensed me to slander the Lady Hero, how you were brought to the orchard and saw me court Margaret in Hero's garments, how you disgraced her when you should marry her. My villainy you have upon record, which I would rather seal with my death than repeat over to my shame. This lady is dead upon mine and my master's false accusations. Now I briefly desire nothing but the reward of a villain.
Runs not this speech like iron through your blood?
I hath drunk poison while he uttered it.
But did my brother set thee to this?
Yea, and paid me richly for the practice of it.
He is composed and framed in treachery, and has fled upon this villainy.
Sweet hero, now thy image doth appear in the rare semblance that I loved at first.
Come, bring away the plaintiffs. By this time, our section hath reformed Signor Leonardo of this matter. Oh, and masters, do not forget that when time and place shall serve, that I am an ass.
Here comes Master Signor Leonardo and the sexton too.
Where is the villain? Let me note upon him, for when I see another man like him, I may avoid him. Which of these is he?
If you wish to know your wrong, look on me.
Art thou the slave that thy breath has killed my innocent child?
Yea, even I alone.
No, not so, villain. I have lied thyself. Here stand two honorable men, 1/3 blood who had a hand in it. I thank you, my lords, for the death of my daughter. Record it with your high and noble deeds. 'Twas bravely done, if you think of it.
I know not to pray your patience, yet speak I must. Choose whatever revenge your intervention can lay upon me, yet sinned I not, but in mistaking.
By my soul, nor I. And yet I would bend under any heavy weight that this good old man would enjoin me to.
I cannot bid you let my daughter live. That were impossible. But I pray thee, possess the people here in Messina and tell her of her innocence. Hang an epitaph above her tomb and sing it to her bones. Sing it tonight. And tomorrow morning, you will come to my house. And since you cannot be my brother-in-law, be yet my nephew. My sister has the very copy of my child who is dead. Thus dies my revenge.
Noble sir, your overkindness doth wring tears from me. I will henceforth dispose of poor Claudia.
And I will see you tomorrow. This naughty man, so that should be brought before Margaret, whom I believe was packing this wrong, hired to it by your brother.
No, by my soul, she was not, nor knew not what she did when she spoke with me, but always hath been just and virtuous in anything that I do know by her.
Oh, moreover, sir, which is not under white and black, this offender here, the plaintiff, did indeed call me an ass. I beseech you, let it be remembered in his punishment. Oh, also the watch heard them talk of one deformed, one who has a key in his ear and a lock that hangs from it, and one that borrows in God's name and used it all for so long and gives nothing back that now some men's hearts grow hardened with, never giving back in God's name. I pray you, examine them upon this point.
I thank thee for thy pains.
Why, thy worship speaks like a most reverent and honest youth.
And here is for thy pains.
God save the foundation.
Go, I discharge thee of thy prisoner.
I leave an errant knave with your worship, which I beseech your worship to question yourself for good example of others. God keep your worship. Oh, I wish your worship well. God restore you to health. I humbly give you leave to depart. And if a merry meeting should be wished, God prohibit it. Come, neighbor.
Very well, my lords.
We will not fail.
Tonight, I'll mourn with Hero.
Come, we'll bring this man before Margaret.
Pray thee, Mistress Margaret, wouldst thou aid in these hands in helping to speech of Beatrice?
Will you then write me a sonnet in praise of my beauty?
Why, in so high regard, Margaret, that no living man shall overcome it, for indeed thou dost deserve it.
To have no man come over me. Why, shall I always keep below stairs?
Why, thy wit is as fast as a greyhound's mouth it catches.
And yours as blunt as the fencer's foils, which hit, but Hurt not.
A most manly wit, Margaret, and it shall not hurt a woman. I pray thee, call Beatrice, I give thee the bucklers.
Give us the swords, we have bucklers of our own.
Why, if thou wouldst use them, you must fit the pike with a vice.
Well, I will call Beatrice to you, who I think hath led.
And therefore will come. The God I love, who sits above, and knows me, and knows me. Pitiful. Mary, I can think of no rhyme for lady, but baby, an innocent rhyme. For scorn, horn, a hard rhyme, and for school, fool, very ominous endings. Mary, I was not born under a rhyming planet, nor can I woo in festival terms. Oh, sweet Beatrice, didst thou come when I called thee?
Yea, Signor, and depart when you bid me.
Oh, but stay unto then.
Then is spoken. Therefore let me go with what I came, which is knowing what hath passed between you and Claudio.
Oh, none but foul words, and therefore I will kiss thee.
Foul words is but foul wind is but foul breath, and foul breath is noisome. Therefore I will depart unkissed.
Why, you have stopped the words in my mouth, so forcible is thy wit. And therefore I shall speak plainly. Claudio undergoes my challenge, and if I do not hear from him presently, why, I shall subscribe him a coward. And now, tell me, for which of my bad parts didst thou first fall in love with me?
For them all together, which created so politic a state of evil that no good was allowed to intermingle. But for which of my good parts did you first suffer love for me?
Suffer love? Why, indeed, a good epithet, for I do love thee against my will.
Against your heart, I think, alas, poor heart, if you will spite it for my sake, I will spite it for yours.
Why, lady, we are too wise to woo peaceably. But tell me, how doth your cousin?
Very ill.
And you?
Very ill, too.
Why, serve God, love me, and set it to mending. And therefore I shall leave you, for here comes one in haste.
Madam, you must return to your uncle's. Yonder's old quill is at home. It has been proved our lady hero has been falsely accused. The prince and Claudio mightily abused, and Don John is the author of all who's fled and gone. Will you come presently?
Will you come to hear this news, Signor?
I shall live in thy heart, die in thy lap, and moreover, I shall follow thee to your uncle's. Is this the monument of Leonardo?
It is the monument of fair hero, my lord.
Now, music sound and sing your solemn hymn.
Done to death by slanderous tongues was the hero that here lies. Death, in guerdon of her wrongs, gives her fame which never dies. And so this life that died with shame lives in death with glorious fame. So hang thou there upon her tomb, praising her while I am dumb. And unto thy bones, good night. Yearly will I do this right.
Good morrow, masters, put the torches out. The wolves have preyed and loved the gentle day before the wheels of Phoebus round about dapples the drowsy east with spots of gray. Thanks to you all, and leave us. Fare you well.
Tomorrow.
Come. Let's put on other weeds, and then to Leonardo's we will go.
Did I not tell you she was innocent?
So are the prince and Claudia. But Margaret was in some fault in this.
Well, I am glad all things soar so well.
As am I, or else by faith I would have been enforced to call Claudio to a reckoning for it.
Well, daughter, gentlemen all. I will withdraw into thy chamber, and when I call upon you, come hither masked. Claudio and the prince promised to visit me this hour. Sister, you know your duty. You must be the mother to your brother's child.
which I will do with confirmed countenance.
Friar, I must entreat your pains, I think.
To do what, Signor?
Well, to bind me or unbind me, for indeed, Signor Leonardo, I must confess, your niece doth regard me with an eye of favor.
With an eye, I think my daughter lent her.
And I do with an eye of love requite her.
With an eye, I think that I gave you, and the prince and Claudia. But what is your will?
Why, my answer, sir, is enigmatical. For my goodwill, well, my will is your goodwill. In this day, to be bound in a state of honorable matrimony, which, dear friar, I will require your assistance.
My heart is with your liking.
And my help. Ah, here comes the prince and Claudia.
Good morrow to this fair assembly.
Good morrow, prince. Good morrow, Claudio. Are thou determined to marry my sister's daughter?
I'll hold my mind worshipping Ethiop.
Come, brother, the friar's ready.
Good morrow, Benedict. Why, what's the matter that you have such a February face so full of frost and storm and cloudiness?
I think he thinks upon the savage bull. Tush, fear not, man. We'll tip thy horns with gold, and all Europa shall rejoice at thee, as they once did at lusty Jove, when he played the noble beast in loath.
Ah, but bull Jove had an amiable load, and so he did leap your father's cow, and from that he did obtain a calf from that very noble feat. And you indeed, for you have just his bleed.
Here are the other reckonings. Which is the lady I must seize upon?
This is she, and I do give you to her.
Now, sweet, let me see your face.
No, not before you swear before this friar you will marry her.
Then take my hand before this friar if you do love me.
When I lived, I was your other wife. When you loved, you were my other husband.
Another hero.
Nothing certain, dear. One hero died or followed, but I do live, and surely as I live, I'm your maid.
The former hero. Hero that is dead.
She died, my lord, while her slander lived.
All this amazement can I qualify. And when the holy rites have ended, I will tell you largely of fair hero's death. But in the meantime, let wonder seem certain, and let us to the chapel present.
Why, sweet and gentle friar, which is Beatrice?
I answer to that name. What is thy will?
Oh, come. Dost thou love me?
Why, no. No more than reason.
Why, then the prince and Claudio were much deceived, for they did swear that you loved me.
Do you not love me?
What troth no? No more than reason.
Why, then my cousin Margaret and Ursula are much deceived, for they did swear you did.
They swore you were sick in bed for me.
They swore you were well nigh dead for me.
'Tis no such matter, then thou dost not love me.
Well, no. No more than friendly recompense.
Come, cousin, I'm sure you love the gentleman.
And I'll be sworn upon it that he loves her, for here is a piece of paper written in his hand, a halting sonnet of his own pure brain, fashioned to Beatrice.
And here's another, written in my cousin's hand.
A miracle. Here is our hands against our hearts. Why, come, I shall have thee, but by this light I take thee for pity.
I would not deny you, for I were told you were in a consumption.
Oh, peace, I shall stop thy mouth.
How dost thou benedict the married man?
Oh, I tell thee what, prince, I do purpose to marry, and so I have nothing in the world to say against it, for indeed, man is a giddy thing. And Claudio, I would to God that he had beaten you, but as thou appear to be my kinsman, why, live unbruised, and love my cousin.
I would have hoped thou wouldst have denied, Beatrice, so I could have cudgeled thee out of a single life to make thee a double dealer, but on my honor, the lady is enamored with you.
Why, come, let us dance. Ere we are friends, let us lighten our hearts and our wives' heels.
We'll have dancing afterward.
No, upon my word, let us have music. But, my prince, thou seems sad. Get thee a wife, get thee a wife. 'Tis no such sadness as when tipped with a horn.
My lord, your brother John is taken in flight and brought with our men back to Messina.
Oh, think not of him. I shall devise some punishment for him tomorrow. Until then, strike up, pipers.